On this episode, we're going to be talking about the biggest game hitting shelves this month, the highly anticipated Monster Hunter World, a new main title in the series, and essentially all but in name, Monster Hunter 5. Despite existing since 2004, for many it will be their first time delving into the franchise. So what exactly is it, and what should you know? Monster Hunter World is an action RPG created by Capcom, and as I'm sure you've guessed, surrounds the capturing or killing of a variety of different fictional creatures. You play as a character you create entirely yourself for a surprisingly in-depth system that gives you a ton of options to tweak and produce the hunter you want. You'll be accompanied by a bipedal cat creature known as a Palico that you can also alter the appearance of that aids you in a number of ways, from battling to harvesting items. Your core drive in taking down monsters surrounds loot, and there'll be plenty of it, with each you beat having their own unique gear to craft, provided you've collected the required parts needed of course. As you progress and kill larger and deadlier targets, you have the opportunity to get stronger and more impressive gear. Hunting your target prey will often require you to find clues to their location, such as by finding footprints or mucus. By discovering enough of these, you can use scout flies to lead you straight to the monster's location, an addition that's had a somewhat mixed response from fans. There are 14 weapon types you'll use to dish out the damage that will cross over from Monster Hunter 4 and Generations. These consist of Greatsword, Dual Blades, Sword and Shield, Hunting Horn, and Lance, to name just a few. No singular weapon type is considered better than another, they all have their own pros and cons, and considering there is no class system, which type you want to use will purely come down to your preferred playstyle, so feel free to experiment with different ones till you find whichever suits you best. As well as your standard weapon, you have a brand new device known as a slinger that has several uses, from shooting different projectiles like stones to divert attention, and a grappling hook function to cross gaps or reach higher areas otherwise inaccessible. Additionally, there are ghillie-like suits called mantles that grant you temporary buffs. These range from allowing you to conceal yourself from monster detection, to reducing certain types of damage, or even giving you the ability to ride strong winds and increase jump airtime. When it comes to the maps, 4 have been confirmed so far: Ancient Forest, Wildspire Waste, Coral Highlands, and Rotten Vale, but it's almost certain we'll get 1 or 2 more at launch. That may not sound like a lot, but each has a huge play space with plenty to do, as well as very distinctive environments that differentiate them from one another. What's most exciting is how seamless they now are. In previous games, moving between zones would result in an immersion-breaking loading screen. This isn't the case at all this time around, which is a massive improvement that certainly shouldn't be understated. As a consequence of this change, however, you have the comfort of quickly running to a new area through a loading zone to flee a monster to heal or compose yourself, meaning you'll need to be on your toes a lot more. The game features online co-op that certainly isn't new to the series, but has been drastically improved, now being completely drop in and drop out. Struggling mid-mission to kill a monster? Simply shoot a red flare and have a friend or random player join in to help you out. In total, you can have up to 3 others with you, but if you're more of a solo type of player, it's been confirmed the game has been designed to be completely possible to run through on your own, so you won't be running into any Destiny raid-like situations where you absolutely need to play with others to have a hope of winning. If you are someone who wants to make your experience as sociable as possible, you can join a squad. In fact, you can join up to 8 of them with a max of 50 in each, which will give you plenty of opportunity to find others to hunt with. There will also be a rather lengthy story integrated in the form of assigned quests that can be played both offline or online and spans through to the higher tier ranks, as well as features full voice acting, which so far sounds surprisingly good. The game is said to be at least 40 to 50 hours long like many RPGs, but you can absolutely expect to get way more, especially considering there'll be additional free DLC in the future to sink your time into. With World being the first in the series for this console generation, it's no surprise it's the best it's ever looked. However, it can look even better if you have a PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, and has 3 modes that prioritise different aspects. 1 for resolution, 1 for frame rate, and 1 for graphics. We've seen these kinds of options in several games before, like Shadow of Mordor or Rise of the Tomb Raider, but certainly not as common as it should be, so it's always nice to see. The game drops simultaneously worldwide on January 26 for the PS4 and Xbox One, which is a first of the franchise, usually coming much later in the West. It's releasing for PC as well, although sadly quite a lot later in the year, with a launch estimated sometime during the 3rd or 4th quarter, however nothing is solidified yet. Likewise, there's another open beta coming once again exclusively to the PS4 just a few days before launch on the 19th that runs through to the 22nd to give you a final taster of what to expect on release. Monster Hunter is no doubt a little daunting to newcomers due to its high learning curve and certainly has plenty of grinding to it, but it's also one of the most addicting and rewarding experiences out there that once you get into it, it's hard to put down. With that said, World looks to be trying its best to ease beginners in and make it as accessible as possible, so don't let that put you off. The series has a huge amount of depth to it, more than I could possibly go into in one video, but hopefully this has given you a good understanding of what to expect from Monster Hunter World and what's new. That's it for this episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content just like this. Click the thumbnail on the left or right for another of my videos. Thanks for watching as usual, and I'll see you on the next video.